Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? So we're going to, I brought props too for everyone. We're going to turn out the lights and we're just going to meditate for 45 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. But as Barb mentioned in her opening this morning, we are going to declutter our minds today. So mindful leadership, what does it mean? It means that we want to really try and first focus on ourselves and really clean the mirror and clean the glass so that we can see out. Mindfulness is a term that may be a little evasive to you. It means being aware, but there are also many ways for us to get there. And I'd like to commend you all. I know that you're all involved in public service in some way. But just for a moment to ask ourselves, when we're serving others, how many times are we forgetting ourselves? What mindfulness does, it gives us an opportunity to focus back in on ourselves, our internal world, so that when we go out there to become leaders, we become better leaders, better managers, better individuals. We show up better for ourselves so that we can show up better for other people. So there are a lot of corporate perks, obviously, to mindfulness. There are a lot of corporations right now that are offering mindfulness training. Intel, Google, Aetna. We personally at YogaFit work with Progressive Insurance and a lot of other companies implementing mindfulness programs. And mindfulness has its benefits. Not having mindfulness also has tremendous costs. So a lot of corporate executives, obviously, a lot of us are challenged with an onslaught of communication, being involved in meetings with people all the time, that we don't even get a moment to take time for ourselves. So mindfulness training really helps us as individuals, and then it helps the people that we're working with. Today I'd like to focus on how mindfulness is going to help you. So stress in the workplace. I'm sure that anyone in the room experienced stress in the workplace? Yeah, okay. Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care, right? Let's all just do that, okay? Just to start our little movement before our meditation, before our 45-minute meditation. Stress in the workplace costs almost $200 billion annually. That's a big cost. So implementing mindfulness programs obviously is cost savings. And long hours, deadlines, finances, pressures, people's pressure at work, outside of work. So what I'm here to do today is give you personally some practical tools for life work management. And that's what mindfulness does. So we see that obviously stress affects us not just fiscally, but also physically, mentally, energetically, on every single level. Now, you're all leaders, you're leading teams, and we want to remember that public service also means that we serve ourselves. We can go to the gym to work on our bodies, we can eat organic, we can go for business coaching if we need help in the workplace, we can study and go to seminars to improve our mind and our intellect. If we have a spiritual pursuit, we can go to a place of worship. Mindfulness really touches on all of those aspects. And it is really the one thing that touches on all of those aspects. And also, you don't need to be a yogi and tie yourself up in a knot to do mindfulness. Even a simple meditation technique, some of which I will show you very soon, you'll be able to do anywhere except if you're behind the wheel driving. Okay? So my bio says, yoga teacher, author, all of that. I run a company. It's stressful. A little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in New York City. I'm triple type A. Triple type A. I'm always like that. More is more is more is more. I've been practicing yoga and guided imagery since I'm 6 years old because I used to get really horrible migraine headaches when I was a child. And I taught myself meditation and guided imagery just to be able to get rid of the migraines. So in college, I was in a car accident. I ended up at a chiropractor. They introduced me to food combining and nutrition. I really fell in love with nutrition. I've been working out since I'm 15 years old, but I've also been working since I'm 15 years old. So believe me, when you say, Beth, I'm stressed out, I get it. Because sometimes all the yoga and the working out doesn't really cure ourselves of stress. So again, there's a financial impact of mindfulness, and there is also, there's this. This is what your office is going to look like after we get through with our mindfulness training. I'm going to come into your offices for 8-12 weeks, and everybody's going to be wearing orange robes and meditating and Om. No, that's not actually, it won't look like this, but hopefully it's going to feel like this. Yes, let's all do this now. We want it to feel like that. This is the office in your mind. Look good? Feels even better. So one of the things that I would like everyone to ask themselves when we're thinking about mindfulness is when we're making a decision on leadership, and I know many of you are responsible for huge budgets, for people's livelihoods, are we bringing our best self to the choice? And just pausing for a moment and asking ourselves that question, what mindfulness gives us is the opportunity to press the pause button, to check in, again, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and really make a more clear decision. I actually didn't start a regular meditation practice until about 4 years ago when my friend Dr. Pam Peak, who lives here in Washington, she's a best-selling author, she sat me down in New York City and she said, Beth, I've been doing TM and it helped me write my latest book, and it's really awesome, and I value her advice, so I went right back to Los Angeles, where I was living at the time, and I got trained to meditate in a serious way. Now, I've been practicing yoga again since I'm very young, but the meditation thing, I always thought, I'm going to do that later, because again, I'm type A, and really, who wants to sit around and meditate? I started a regular practice, and it really, really changed my life. So again, as the CEO of a company, I can relate to, there's not time to meditate, but I'm going to say that we can't not make time for it. Because if we want to see change in ourselves, if we want to see change in our teams, if we want to see change in leadership, that engagement starts with ourselves. And also when we get into how are we going to get employee engagement and commitment to mindfulness, we need to embrace it first. I would never recommend meditation to you if I didn't believe in it myself. So tips for you: be clear, lead clear. When people feel good, they perform better. Again, mindfulness training can be done in your organization where people don't have to change clothes. They can do it wearing their business attire. And it's as simple as even twice a day, a meditation. I was really surprised. I recently met Oprah Winfrey's president at a function in West Hollywood, California, where she's moved her studios to Lot 7 on Santa Monica Boulevard. And I said, is it really true that you're doing meditation twice a day? And he said, yeah, twice a day we stop everything that we're doing and we do meditation. So again, lots of different corporations are taking advantage of this new but old technology. So I'm going to give everybody some homework and give you some homework just to be kind to yourself so you can be kind to others. And again, when we're talking about mindfulness, we're going to create a multifaceted, holistic plan. So before we get into this, I'm going to just ask that we all uncross our legs, sit up nice and tall, close our eyes. Actually, you know what? Let's stand up. So let's stand up and just close our eyes and take our arms up. And we're going to take a few deep breaths here. Good, let's lift our arms up a little bit higher. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, just bring some harmony, peace, and calm into your body-mind. Good, let's turn our palms in towards one another, stretch and lengthen our spine, pull the navel center in towards the low back. And we're going to exhale the hands down to the sides of the body, interlace the hands behind the back, and just gently open up the chest. Good. Inhaling and exhaling, just bringing some harmony, peace, and calm into your body-mind. Good. We're just breathing. Close the eyes. There's really nothing to see right now, but there might be something to feel, and that's just a feeling of peace and calm and tranquility. Again, these are just practical tools for life work management. Good, we're taking 5 more deep breaths. Let's really fill the belly with air. Inhale and exhale. Good, and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Let's draw the arms back behind the body again. Stretch and open the chest. This is something you should probably be doing 4 or 5 times a day, because I know we're all working over computers and desks. And then if you have children, small children, you're picking them up, or if you're cooking, your opportunity for forward flexion increases even more. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Good, and then go ahead and please sit down. Okay, we're going to close our eyes. Bring one hand to the heart center, one hand to the belly. And again, just take a few more deep breaths. Notice the temperature of the air around you. Good, let's deepen the breath. Inhale, hold that breath. Exhale, release it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's let the hands rest on the sides of our bodies or in our laps. Again, we're keeping the eyes closed for a few more deep breaths. Again, our legs are uncrossed. We're sitting up nice and tall. Let's pull the shoulders back and down. Good, and as we take our final few deep breaths, let's imagine just clearing our minds. When it rains and the windshield wipers are in the car, just imagine those windshield wipers taking away any thought. We're going to take a one-pointed focus on the spot between the eyes, just breathing into greater clarity, awareness, and attention. Good, one more final breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's inhale through the mouth. Exhale through the mouth. Good, inhale harmony. Exhale harmony. Good, inhale harmony in your internal world. Exhaling harmony in your external world. And then just slowly opening up your eyes. All right, how's everyone doing? Good? So that's just, again, a brief example of what mindfulness looks like. You know, it's a combination of breathing exercises, kinesthetic awareness, meditation, and I'd like to also speak on how we can set ourselves up a little bit better for mindfulness. So there are foods that increase cognitive function, and I'm personally obsessed with cognitive function. I've got a whole basket of supplements here that I'll show you that can improve cognitive function. They're all natural. But one of the best things we can do is to make sure that we're doing things that will set ourselves up again for mindfulness. So 7 foods for cognitive function: salmon, almonds, green tea, steamed greens, eggs, pineapple, and coconut water. Again, one of the best things we can do for cognitive function is simply to make sure we're staying hydrated. Some foods that will take you away from cognitive function: gluten for a lot of people. I went gluten-free about 4 years ago. It really changed my life. My entire book, Yoga Lean, is gluten-free. So too much coffee can affect our cognitive function. Alcohol, tobacco, nicotine, processed foods, white flour, those things are not good for cognitive function. So if we're looking, again, to show up as our best selves, as our best selves, to lead teams, to be engaged and aware, we need to remember that we really are what we eat. So we've got a couple of sample programs for mindfulness. An 8-week program that we have involves meditation, breathing exercises. Again, back to what Barb talked about, decluttering, space clearing. There's a whole chapter in my book, Yoga Lean, on clearing space. Yoga, obviously. Journaling, gratitude, listening skills, so important. Communication skills. We've, because we teach teachers, we've got a lot of workshops also on communication. PEP feedback, which is praise, encourage, praise. Communication, to find out if your teams are visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learners. So many different ways to hit the mindfulness model. And if you can get your people outside, walking programs. In our 12-week program, we get a little bit more into self-assessments, nutrition, and more communication exercises. So again, there are a variety of different models that you can use for mindfulness if you're wondering, how am I going to implement this for myself or my team? So in the Yoga Lean model, again, we focus a lot on the health component as well. Community service, and I know you're all in public service, so you might be thinking, what more community service do I need to do? But getting people together for a mission, for community service, is also very helpful in team building. And then my new book, which is the YogaFit Athlete, encourages us all to think of ourselves as athletes. Who in this room thinks of themselves as an athlete? Awesome, I like to see that, because actually we should all raise our hands. Let's all raise both hands again. Because we are all athletes in this game of life, right? We need to show up. We need to show up at work. We need to show up for our families. So if we all thought of ourselves as athletes, we may lead our lives in a slightly different way. We would obviously make training and nutrition a priority. We would eat for health and not just for entertainment. We would make health a priority. We would set goals as a team. And we would be team players. And isn't that what we're trying to achieve in the workplace? Is being a team player, right? We all want to be on a team together, winning. And, winning doesn't mean just hitting our fiscal goals, but it also means that everyone's engaged, they're happy, and they're cooperative. And that's why team sports are so awesome, for getting everyone to cooperate with each other. So again, we've got lots of different models that we can work with. So Just to recap, mindfulness is a combination of different techniques, mind-body techniques, including awareness techniques, breathing exercises, meditation, could be a walking meditation, and how we practice mindfulness is to engage in some of those techniques for ourselves and then really start to fall in love with them, perhaps before we bring them to our teams. Mindfulness in the workplace is being done, it's really being done all over Silicon Valley now. It's being done by major corporations because the investment made in our teams, in our staff, is going to be a much better investment than having to do triage. You know, oftentimes they say by the time we start meditating, you know, it's almost too late to meditate. And I don't always believe that that's true, but sometimes we need to have a health crisis before we start to take our health into our own hands as a priority. Mindfulness gives us the opportunity to start to recognize what's happening with our health. I was sharing with Debbie last night, we had dinner, and I was sharing that, you know, I've been able to, whether I've sprained an ankle or tweaked a knee, I've been able to cure myself with mindfulness and meditation techniques. So it's also a great way for you to recognize what might be off course before it gets too far in that direction. And I think that's really important, that we also take our health, not just our physical health, our mental health, into our own hands to the best of our abilities. And mindfulness, again, really gives us that. And then how can mindfulness translate outside of the office? Well, again, it's going to make you a better spouse, a better parent, a better communicator, and just give you a sense of ease instead of dis-ease. So when I first started my company, someone gave me this ad of someone playing jazz, and it said, follow your bliss. And that's a picture of my dog, Bentley. He got cut off. But I like to spend a lot of time with dogs because they're aware, they're alert, and they're joyful constantly. I think we can learn a lot from them. And being in that energy has also helped me become more mindful. So this is my contact information. I'll leave it up on the board. How are we doing on time? Okay, good. All right, so once again, I'm going to invite you to take advantage of a little mental break. I like to say that yoga and meditation gives our bodies a workout and our minds a mini vacation. So let's just sit up nice and tall once again. Okay, I'm going to really challenge you this time to close your eyes and to just notice how your body feels today, how your shoulders and neck feel, how your face feels. Let's take a few deep breaths, allow our shoulders to relax. Notice how your feet and legs feel. Notice how your belly feels. Our gut instincts, so important. There are more serotonin receptors in the gut than in the brain, as well as the same cells are in the lining of the gut. So when we get those intuitive hits, they mean something. And there are a lot of ways for us to disconnect from it, but right now we're going to connect with it. Let's bring the hands to the belly. Good, take a few deep breaths. And just breathing into a state of witness consciousness. Inhale, fill the belly with air. Exhale, press the air out of the body. Good, inhale, fill the belly with air. Exhale, press the air out of the body. just noticing again how you feel, letting go of judgment, expectation, competition. Again, just listening to the internal voice. Again, we want to let go of judgment, expectation, competition. Just be present for yourself in this moment. This moment right now is all we have. So we're just going to take advantage of breathing, of feeling, of being present for ourselves in the moment. When we give ourselves the gift of the present moment, it's called a present for a reason, and we're really giving ourselves that present. It's taking a few deep breaths, bringing our awareness into our heart center, and just connecting with a feeling of love, sending love to your beautiful body that is supporting you through this journey called life, that brought you here to this room today. And recognizing that our physical bodies are also gifts, and they're really the only homes we have in this lifetime. So the more we can take care of them, whether it's drinking some more water, doing a meditation, we're giving ourselves a huge loving gift. Reminding ourselves that public service also means serving yourself. Asking yourself in this moment also, are you feeding everyone and starving yourself? And again, just giving ourselves the gift of breath and presence and peace and calm. We're going to take a few more deep breaths with our eyes closed. Draw the arms up over the head. Let's hook the thumbs together, pull the arms back. Good. Watching out for our neighbors. Bring the arms out, opening the heart center once again, turning the palms open, just welcoming in the opportunity to bring yourself something new. Let's give ourselves all a big hug today. Good. Close your eyes. Give yourself a hug for maybe this is the first time you even did something like this. And I'm sending you all a virtual hug because you're all awesome. You're working for the government. You're serving our country. It's such a beautiful thing. So let's bring the hands to the heart center. And there's a yoga word we finish our classes with, and it's namaste, and it means my spirit honors your spirit. So again, acknowledge yourself for the awesome being that you are, and just know that no matter where we are, if we're an elite athlete, if we've never seen the inside of a gym, if we're a Rhodes Scholar, we always have opportunities for self-improvement, and we always have opportunities to declutter, and we always have opportunities to make mindful choices as mindful leaders. So I'd like to thank you all so much for having me today. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. Thanks. And now I think we have like a minute for any questions, if anyone has any questions. Someone should just make up a question, even if you don't have one. Thank you.
So what remains the biggest challenge in your life? And what can we share with us on how to cope with that?
Okay. The biggest challenge in my life probably is having employees, to be honest with you. And working on motivation, when oftentimes, not everyone wants to drink that Kool-Aid. So implementing ways to keep people excited, engaged, enrolled, and also balancing that with the fact that we're running a for-profit business. So keeping, obviously, our eye on the bottom line while keeping everybody happy, motivated, and moving in the right direction will always remain running a business my biggest challenge. How to make it better for everyone and keep the company moving and growing forward. Thank you for your question.
I know that I carry stress in my shoulders, and I find myself slouching all the time, and I kind of catch myself. Is there an exercise I can do to not do that so much?
Yes, thank you for asking that. So again, so much of our life is forward flexion, right? Computers, writing, cooking, kids. So what we can do a couple of times a day is just do that chest expansion exercise. And do that, if you can set a timer, do it for 2 minutes. And then there's a nice little shoulder stretch you can do like that. You can do some shoulder rolls. If you do that a few times a day with your eyes closed, sending some focused attention, it will really, really help dissipate stress. Your mind has tremendous, tremendous power over your physical body. So just even sometimes acknowledging that stress and tension lie there will help get rid of it. Thank you for your question. There's one behind you. We have time for one more. The woman with the hat.
I'd like to ask you a question. Is there a difference between yoga and massage therapy? Like, will a massage do the same thing that yoga will do?
That's an excellent question. Yoga is like self-massage, and yoga obviously is going to require a little bit more physical exertion, or a lot more, depending upon the style that you do, a lot more physical exertion. Yoga kind of works everything together, where massage is very effective for spot issues. But I think a combination of both is a great way to go. So I guess that is all the time we have. Thank you.